It's OD666666 with more beauty for your eyes and your ear holes and your butthole. And bringing it to you now. Here we go. Whoops, I got the goddamn thing backwards. The Uh-Oh Show. This is a new movie by Mr. Herschel Gordon Lewis, the master, the godfather of gore. Everybody, I love him. I'm really glad he came out with another flick here. Love Blood Feast 2, love all his older stuff. Actually, I've just seen most of his gore movies and things like that. I haven't seen this sexploitation stuff yet. But I love those old, 2000 Maniacs. I love that movie. Anyway, on to this. The Uh-Oh Show. This is a new one that was just put out by Shriek Show, another company that I love. It's got Herschel Gordon Lewis actually plays a part in there. It's got a cameo by Mr. Lloyd Kaufman, the master. It's got effects by my buddy Marcus Cook, Autopsy Effects. So it's looking nice. He did the gore in this one, and the gore in this one it's very reminiscent of like the old school Herschel Gordon Lewis gore. It's funny, it's silly, it's good. Basically what this movie's about is it's kind of a spoof on like reality TV. It's just showing how far are we going to go with this. It's a TV show, and basically what it is they ask people questions, and if they get the questions wrong, they get a limb chopped off. So, there you go. It starts off, with the gore coming at you. So, so anyway, they say the show is fake, it's not real what's going on. What happens is, there's this reporter in the movie. Her name's Jill. And her boyfriend is a big loser, sits on the couch all day, doesn't do shit. And he's like, I need to get on that show because they give away like millions of dollars and trips and all this other shit. And so he's like, I need to get on that show. I love that show. I need to get on that show. And she's like, you don't want to go messing around. You don't want to go messing around with that show. So anyway, he goes behind her back, gets on the show, and you kind of could figure out what happens after that. So he comes up missing, and so she goes investigates it. Like I said, she's a reporter, so she's investigator savvy. So she goes investigates what's going on, finds out some pretty evil stuff about it. In the meantime, the show, they get offered a primetime spot on TV. So the producer's like, well, let's amp this shit up. The Uh-Oh Show's just not enough. We got to do more with this since we got prime time now. So what he decides to do is he decides to make, I guess, a thing called Grim Fairy Tales, where he does a little twist on fairy tales where he makes them like end up in like a gory mess. Like Jack and Jill went up the hill, and Jack broke his crown, it shows his head splatter, and things like that. Little Red Riding Hood and crazy shit like that, but it always ends up in a gore fest. Now the host of the show, he don't think too much of this, since mostly, kids are going to be watching that and getting an idea, and all this and that. So he's like, I think the Oh Show, we should leave it alone. Let's not do that. They decided to do it anyway, so he's like, suck it. So yeah. But anyway, I don't want to give too much away about that. This is a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it. For those of you that love Herschel Gordon Lewis, I definitely recommend you go check it out. For those of you that like, Marcus's effects, go check it out. Lloyd Kaufman, come on now. Check the shit out. They got a Facebook page. Go check them out. And then I got Death Machine. I've been looking at this one for a while. I remember seeing this old VHS cover when I used to go in a VHS store and rent movies and horrors, Mr. Vance. I remember seeing this one in there. That cover, I was always like, that looks pretty cool, but I never checked it out. I finally decided to go pick it up. It was cheap on Amazon or something like that. This was a damn fun movie. It's a sci-fi horror movie that's just goofy and off the wall. Basically, what this one is this chick is working for this, government, bullshit where they like they make shit for the army and military and things like that, so war machines and stuff like that. So anyway, Brad Dourif, which you may know him from, Child's Play, he played, Jesus Christ, not Jesus Christ, he didn't play Jesus Christ, Charles Lee Ray, also known as Chucky, but he, Brad Dourif, you know who he is, why am I explaining it to you? Anyways, he plays the Madman that makes, this big, robot, I don't even know why they hired him. You take a look at this guy, he's got his own little, hideout in the basement where he makes his creations, a little mad professor, but, Yeah, he comes up with this big death machine. It's a big robot, you know, it goes around killing people. But anyway, he's off his rocker. He has a thing for the chick that works there. She don't want him, so he kind of goes a little nutty. He already is anyway. He plays a great psychopath in this movie. It's just fun, cheesy goodness. There's not a ton of gore in this or anything, but it's just a damn fun, like, edge of your seat cat and mouse movie. I mean, it's just death machine out to kill everybody. I mean, that's, you know, that's basically what it is inside of a building. I mean, it's fun though, man. This is a good flick. Definitely check that one out. Then I got an oldie but a goodie. I finally found a copy of this. I knew this was out of print for a while. I think it was. I remember seeing it on Amazon. The price was kind of ridiculous, but I found this at a store for $2. I was like, hell yeah. Now this, you know, when I was first, I had to be shown this movie because I looked at the cover and I was like, that looks stupid. That's a horrible cover. I don't know. It's really stupid. I've never been a fan of like the head covers where it's just got heads on there and they're like, you know, if it was my head on there, I might watch it. But it's not. So, anyway, this dude was like, no, you've got to check this movie. I'm telling you, it's really good. And I'm like, nah. So, anyway, one day I checked it out. It's a damn good flick. Keanu Reeves is like, whoa. But, yeah, anyway, he plays a stoner. Go figure. You know, stoner metalhead. And Crispin Glover, though, man, he makes it for me in this movie. He is so funny in this movie. I mean, he's just, his weirdness and just like, you know, I don't know, his uncomfortableness just cracked me up in this movie. It's got Ione Skye in it, you know. She's 80s chick. And anyway, basically what this one's about, one of their friends, heavy metal guy, goes and kills this chick for talking shit about him. Leaves her over by the river. He's like, hey, you guys want to go see a dead body? And they're like, whatever, man. Yeah, let's go see. They think it's bullshit. And so he goes and shows them, and they're like, whoa, dude. And, it just becomes a little thing where everybody's got to keep their mouth shut. Everybody's kind of scared. It's also got Dennis Hopper. He plays the drug dealer. He sells some pot. And he plays he's off his rocker, too. And it's just good characters, man. Fun flick, man. If you guys haven't seen River's Edge, I definitely recommend this one. It's a really fun 80s movie, man. I gotta cover up them nippies on there. There's nipples on there. But yeah, Shram. I finally got this one. I've been wanting to see this one for a long time because I love, serial killer movies and things like that. Oh my god. Wow. That's a crazy one, yeah. I mean, it's not like I didn't have nightmares or anything like that, and I didn't, look away from the screen. Oh, man, I can't look at Shram. But, man, oh, it was funny. I enjoyed that movie. It's got some perverse shit in there. It starts out, the beginning scene is what just reels you in. It's like these, when people knock on your door and, hey, how you doing? Have you heard of the word of God? And he's like, oh, I'd like to talk to you guys. Come on in. So they come in, and, first off, that movie is subtitled. It's a German flick, but you guys know that. But anyway, the Christian people, he's like, oh, come on in, have a drink, tell me about Jesus and things like that. So they come in, and he's like, well, let me go get you a drink, and then he just comes out. He's like swinging, he slits the guy's throat, and then he bashes the chick's head in, and it's just like, he gets him. He strips them down, he puts them in poses, sexual poses, and takes pictures of them. And that pretty much sets the tone for the movie. It's like, okay, this movie's going to be nutty, it's going to be perverse, it's going to be balls out. It shows him putting nails in his wiener. He's got this little blow-up doll. For you guys that have seen it, you know what I'm talking about, the blow-up doll. You know what I'm talking about. He gets it, he's like, you know what I'm talking about. But that shit cracked me up, and then he cleans out the blow-up doll, and it's gross, and he's digging out his, his Johnny Wad and all that. Good stuff, man. Quality film. Then I finally picked up the Ebola syndrome. I know it's old news. Everybody's like, yeah, man, we picked that up a year ago, whatever. But hey, I just picked it up, and I thought it was damn good, and I want to tell you about it, so deal with it. Yeah, the Ebola syndrome. It's Anthony Wong, which I want to see the untold story now really bad because of this movie. Yeah, this is a fun one, man. He's just a dick. I mean, basically, he's going around, starts out with him screwing this dude's wife, and he comes home to find it. He ends up killing everybody in the house, well, except for this little girl. Anyway, long story short, he goes and he starts working for this kitchen later on. They start buying pigs from these people. The pigs are just too expensive for them, so they're like, let's go to this tribe. They'll give us some cheap meat. So they go to the tribe, and yeah, the people in the tribe have Ebola virus. So yeah, he sees a pretty little thing down by the river. He decides to have his way with her. He gets Ebola. He is immune to the virus, but he can spread it. So yeah, he has all sorts of fun after that because he's just a sick dude. He likes yeah. And another thing I'll tell you about this movie, you know, the people he's working for at the restaurant, he don't get along with too well, so he ends up chopping them up and serving them as burgers. After he has intercourse with the boss's wife, so she has Ebola, he chops her up, makes meat out of her. Other people get Ebola, bananas, crazy, fun stuff. Then this one, holy Jesus, you know, now that I'm on the subject of weird movies, this movie was, I've been wanting this movie forever, but it's always been expensive, and it finally went down in price, so I had to pick this up. You know, I've heard stories about this movie. Now, this movie is crazy, it's nuts, it's weird. Something Weird Video explains it. You know, they put out some crazy shit. Yeah, Blood Freak. Wow. Basically, what this one's about is, alright, it's a really bad movie, but it's a really fun movie at the same time. Now, this movie is bad. This is for only people that enjoy bad movies that are good. You know what I mean? That are enjoyable, that are just so nutty, you're like, what the hell am I watching? Basically, this one starts out, it's got a narrator in it telling you, you know, the dangers of drugs and, like, you know, how good religion is and Christian stuff and all this stuff. But anyway, he breaks in every now and then to narrate. But basically what this movie is, it's got this dude, I forget his name. His name is Herschel. And he's a biker, and he meets up with this other chick, and they go to her house, and she's all into the Bible and stuff, but her sister's like a big, you know, drug addict, and she likes smoking pot and all that stuff. And so he's like, he digs them both, so he's like, you know, which one should I choose? You know, he looks like Elvis and shit. He's got... See, I've been growing. Look at that. Look at those. Anyway, yeah, that's enough of that. So anyway, she's like, you know, the Bible and this and that. And then her sister's like, hey, man, come smoke a joint with me, man. Have a good time, man. Let's freak out. So yeah, he's like, well, I don't know what I should do. And she's like, no, trust me, man. You're a chicken. You're a chicken. You're a baby. You're a turkey. And he's like daring him, and peer pressure gets him. So he tokes that pot, and then yeah, so anyway, the dude laced the pot with some, I don't know, they never say, but he laces it with something, and so the dude gets hooked on this drug, and he needs it, because if he don't have it, he like convulses and shit. And so anyway, more addition to that story, he gets offered a job at this chicken plant or something like that, where they're like making these chickens, you know, for people to eat. They're preparing all this shit. They're like, look, will you be our guinea pig to try out our chicken? You know, after they're using chemicals and shit to grow the chickens. So they're like, well, do you want to help us, and you can eat chicken or turkey or whatever the hell it was. You can eat the buds, and just let us know. He's like, you know, you don't have to worry about any kind of, you know, side effects or anything. This is gonna be a piece of cake for you. So the dude's like, yeah, man, I'll eat chicken, I eat buds, you know, and make some money off of it. So anyway, yeah, little does he know that the drugs they use to feed the birds are it turns him into a mutated chicken head man that goes around killing people, killing addicts and drinking their blood because that's what he needs to survive. Oh my god, this movie's so crazy. Yeah, and another funny thing about this movie is after he turns into a chicken head man, yeah, his druggy chick still has sex with him. It doesn't show it. I wish it did. It would have been funny. But, yeah, she's just like, oh, man, what happened? You know, she's not, like, surprised that he has a big chicken head at all. But this movie was nuts, man. I loved it. I mean, it was everything I expected it to be. Then I got Bereavement. Not a bad movie. It was a little slow for my taste. It needed more death, more blood, more excitement. Basically, it's just this dude. He kidnaps this kid, little 6-year-old boy. For some reason, the kid can't feel pain at all. So, you know, he kidnaps a kid. He takes him to his lair and, you know, kills people in front of him and has him help by, like, he's like, hold her legs so I can cut her up, you know, hold her down. And he keeps him captive and tells him a story about this. He's got this big, like, I don't know, skeleton of some animal on the wall, and he's all like, I guess he's telling him that's our master, and, you know, he's going to get you if you don't help me out. And anyway, but, you know, it was a pretty good movie. It wasn't that bad. It's a, whoa, shit. It's a prequel to Malevolence, you know, so if you guys have seen that one, you kind of know what to expect. I liked them both. They're pretty good. You know, nothing real, you know, inventive, but it was okay. Then I got this one, Cold Fish. This was a damn good flick. You can get this one at the Walmarts. And, yeah, man, no, I was looking at it, and I was unsure about it, because it looks kind of like a drama type, you know, movie, and I was like, So I've heard some good shit about it, so I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to go pick it up. So I went and picked it up, watched it. This was a damn good movie. Another thing that had me scared off, it's like an hour, I mean, it's like 145 minutes long, and you know my attention span ain't all there. But this movie really delivered. It's basically this, I'm going to have to make this 2 parts. Nobody's going to want to watch this for 15 minutes. 16 minutes on now. But anyway, it's about this dude. He owns a fish shop. His daughter steals some shit from these people, goes shoplifting. They're like, "Wow, what are we going to do with you? We're telling your parents." So they call the parents up to the shop. The dude's like, don't worry about it. Look, your daughter can work for my fish store to pay it off. You know, don't worry about it. We'll make her a good little lady. We'll give her responsibility and keep her out of trouble. And so anyway, you know, the girl's working up there, and anyway, the dude that owns this fish shop turns out to be a nutcase. I don't want to give too much away. I don't really know how to review this movie without giving a bunch away. Anyway, I'm just gonna give you the gist of it. It's got gore. It's got a little bit of gore in it. It's got a psycho killer in it. It's about a man that gets caught up in some pretty deep shit, and he can't get out because there's people's lives on the line. It's a gripping tale with great cinematography and great music. But no, it's good, man. This is definitely a good movie. I'm gonna stop this. We'll just do a part 2 because I know you guys are sick of watching me. So part 2, bye.